Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kai, and welcome back to Warframe. Welcome back to another Equinox build guide. Alright, I know I just put out one of these. I know that was the first YouTube video that I've put out in 2 years. Okay? A whole 2 years. But, you know what this is? This is me calling past Rylan out and saying that Equinox build was shit. And I can't believe I posted that. Because, guys, I have two for you today that are way better than that one. So let me show you guys. Alright, we are back in the simulacrum, so let's take a peek at the build, which I will demonstrate how I put it together. So, between making this video and the previous Equinox guide, threw an aura format into Equinox because I have a bunch of different things I like to use with Equinox, and recently I've been using the Fenmore a lot, and it's mutation that gives it 50% chance to deal 2,000 damage on non-crits, which means that I don't want to use Arcane Avenger combined with Combat Discipline. So right now I just have Corrosive Projection put in there because Equinox struggles a teeny bit with enemy armor, but not so much, as you will come to see. Alright, so first mod, let's do strength first. Most important part of this build. Umbral Intensify. Alright. Fully maxed out, plus 44 ability strength, Umbral Formid even. Transient Fortitude. Boom. 219 strength. Already. Now, what combos with these two is Umbral Vitality, which isn't even maxed. 230% for ability strength. You know what that gives us? 46 on Provoke, which means that with these three mods, we have maximum Gloom Slow. But oh no, our drains are mad high. We can counter that with Fleeting Expertise and Streamline. Drains are still a little high. Let's slot in Prime Continuity, which by the way, if you don't have this mod, you can use Augur Message. Because look, when you have what the game shows is 175% efficiency, which is actually 60 plus 30, which is actually 190. If you go below 100% duration, that extra 15% efficiency does take effect and lower your drains. If we go below this duration, but we have 190 efficiency, you'll see that our drains are still really low, even though we're down 63 efficiency. That's because to get the lowest possible drains, Equinox only needs 40% duration as long as you have Streamline and Fleeting Expertise. 40 duration. That's ridiculous. So then we can get our range mods. We go with Augur Reach. We're actually going to change Message out and just use Prime Continuity though, so we can have that lowest possible drain, even though it's only a difference of a few points. It does affect these other abilities. And then our last range mod of Stretch, and in our aura we put Cunning Drift for that ability range. Let's take a peek at this build, alright? We will start off, exit out, just so we don't see stat differences. 68% duration paired with 190 efficiency gives us the lowest possible drains. No need for Blind Rage, alright? This ability is what nuked the last build. It made it so ridiculously energy hungry. You don't need this. These three mods combined, plus Provoke, gives you enough strength. Obviously, if you don't want to use these, instead of using Umbral Vitality, you can just use Augur Secrets. But, like, we don't need that extra ability strength, so extra health always helps. There's no reason not to have it, especially when we can fit it in, and mine isn't even a max. It should go up to, like, 1,300 if I were to max it out. Anyways, we don't need Rolling Guard here either. Rolling Guard isn't necessary if you're not being shot. Also, if you get hit with a status effect like Heat or Toxin, even at these high levels, as long as Gloom is up, which, with these ridiculously high strength values, gives you a 13% lifesteal, you just take any amount of damage from a status effect, and then you just get it back as long as you're shooting something. Even a bullet from your secondary will get all your health back. It is a stupidly high amount of health that you can generate with Gloom. Anyways, next, range of 190. This is combined with Stretch, Augur Reach, and Cunning Drift. Range is important because you want to have a nice range on your main nuke your rage so you can prime more targets, and gloom so you get more targets slowed by your maim slash proc. Now, strength 230%. Great damage vulnerability increase, but it goes up to 276 with this. I'm not going to do the math right now, but these values go higher. You get 95% slow on this. That slash proc gets even higher. Not that you're killing enemies in high levels with it, but in low level Lith Relics, this slash proc 1 or 2 taps. And then also all your allies will appreciate the higher strength bonus that they get from Provoke. So, that is this build. Let's do a quick little demonstration before we move on to what the next one looks like, which is even more ridiculous, all right? Even more ridiculous, just trust me. Let's take a peek at this one. Now that we've got our Corrupted Heavy Gunner spawned, let's get some energy. So, the order goes Provoke first, extra ability strength, either Gloom or Maim. Pop Maim, pop Gloom, and let's go. Look at that slow. I mean, you can barely even tell they're moving. Now, I know the Fenmore is busted, but I'm just using it for now. Think, 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 think. Build up that Incarnon. Prime for some damage. Slash procs alone off of... I mean, that killed. That killed. Alright? I know that's just the Fenmore being nuts, but, like... You could do this with literally any gun and make it work. What are they supposed to do? They just can't do anything. Now, let's talk about where your mileage may vary a little bit. Okay, so, as you see here, I have 2 Crimson Red Archon shards that are giving me 20% more ability strength. A little bit misleading, actually, when I say that there's 3 mods give you enough. Yes, these are needed to use these 3 mods alone by themselves. But you know what you can do? I said this before. You can put in Augur Secrets. That brings us down to 223. Alright? Which isn't enough for max Gloom Slow. But then you can use Growing Power. You can use the Exilus that gives you 15% more ability strength. So this build is 100% doable without any Archon shards, alright? If you don't want to invest Archon shards into Equinox, I understand that. You can even still do this with this. Minus 20, 210, plus 25% off of Growing Power. Bam, you're at 235, alright? Like, it is viable, okay? You don't need Archon shards for this. Obviously, the 2 Ambers here for casting speed are a replacement for Natural Talent, which are very, very useful. And the casting times on Maim take a very long time. All right, it's like 2 seconds, like 2-3 seconds, so it's long. It won't get you killed because if Gloom is up, nothing's shooting you in the first place. But quality of life, all right. But yes, that is how you can get this done without any Archons. I just have Archons, which means that I get to use things like Corrosive Projection and Cunning Drift for more range. I do recommend investing Archons into Equinox, by the way. They help a tremendous amount. I'm going to replace this Tau Forged Azure with an Amber for energy orb effectiveness next, is what I plan to do. Even though the drains are so low on this build, you don't even really need that. But again, quality of life. Now here's the thing, guys. If you thought that build was absolutely nuts, which it is, just wait until we take a peek at this. Alright. Questions. Why do we have such low strength? Why do we have such low duration? I've said before, 230 ability strength is what you want to shoot for. To get enough Provoke buff to get max Gloom Slow. Right now, it's not that much. You need at least 40% duration with 195 ability efficiency to have the lowest drain. But, as you can see here, this is a maximum range build. This is every range mod in the game is on this frame. Overextended, Reach, Stretch, Cunning Drift. 280% is the maximum range you can get without invigorations or other buffs from other frames like arcane helmets and shit. This is it. You can't go higher than this. 50 meters, 45 meters, 140 meter cast, 14 meter radius, 45 meters. All right? But here's the thing. How do we get these to be equal with each other? Because overextended nukes your ability strength. Here's how. Molt augmented, molt efficiency. Molt augmented gives you, at max, mine are not max, this is a theoretical build that I have done the math for, this will work, gives you 60% more ability strength at max with 250 kills. Which brings us to 230, which, as I said before, is how much you want to be able to hit the Gloom slow cap. Molt efficiency gives us, at max, 36 duration. 36 plus 13 is 49, which is 9 above the cap, which you need for duration. So you don't even need to max out molt efficiency. With these two at full rank and at max stacks, you have max Gloom slow. The highest possible range, okay? I'm just going to demonstrate real quick what this range looks like, alright? I hit them from here. From here. That is absurd. Absolutely ridiculous. Alright, now, turn these off. Let's take a peek back at this. Let's talk about some caveats, okay? For this build, you do, in fact, not need Archon shards, but they make a tremendous help, okay? Because you want cutting drift for max range. You don't want to have to use the one that gives you 15% extra ability strength, alright? The biggest issue with this build, though, is that this build does not work the second you toggle your abilities like this one does. The second you toggle your abilities here, you have max Gloom slow, you have very high range, and you have the lowest drain. With this one, multi-efficiency and augmented are not instant, okay? And you are actually going to start out with really high drains on this build. Like, really high drains, okay? It is going to take a while for this one to kick in. Multi-efficiency less so, but it is still 6 seconds to get that ability duration up. Not a long time, but the thing is, you need your shields up. Is it hard to keep shields up when you have Gloom and enemies aren't shooting you? No. Is it the easiest thing in the world? No. Alright? That is a problem. It is hard to maintain, which is, again, why at the end of the day, I recommend this one. But if you want the absolute highest, best Equinox build, this is it. Alright? Like, Gloom, Dayform, Maim Nuke, this is it. It cannot get better than this. It can't. And I'd like to see anybody try and tell me that it does. Because it does not. Alright? I will read the comments. I will watch response videos. Whatever. If you can prove to me that you can do something like this that is better, I will watch it. And I will give you my opinion. But this build, especially also with multi-augmented, to get that plus 60% so you have enough Gloom slow, you need 250 kills. That is not a small amount of kills. Practically only getting that in survivals, in disruptions, and missions that you don't complete very quickly, like exterminates. In fact, if you try to use this in those missions, you're going to start off with a very, very weak build. But in terms of maximization, this is where it ends. It does not get better than this. Alright? I'm going to stick with this. I will try this out once I max rank these arcanes, but I recommend this one to everyone. And again, feel free to use whatever Archon you want in here. I'm probably going to swap back to Combat Discipline and Arcane Avenger if I want to use something other than the Fenmore, but I'm enjoying that gun right now. Another issue with this build that I'm thinking of now, you have to use these two. You can't not use these two Arcanes. You don't need Arcane Energize. Arcane Energize is not needed on this build, but it means that you can't use anything else here. And that is a problem. But in terms of maximization, it does not get better than this. It does not. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I know that this is 2 videos on the same frame back to back, but Equinox is my main. And I have theory crafted this build for at least 3 weeks now. And this is what I've ended up with. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. If Saucy Amogus could please shut the hell up so I can finish my outro. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later. I hope everyone has a pleasant day/evening. Goodbye.